What up, what up? Welcome back to another video. Now, I've got tons that I would like to say about the subject and the video that you're about to see for yourself in just a couple of minutes, but I'm gonna try to keep this a little short. And there's a bunch of comments that are popping up, and you'll see why. But there's a bunch of comments popping up throughout the video, and you'll get to read some of them, and you can kind of understand why I'm not really going into the subject matter that much. Because more and more people are awake nowadays, and more people are starting to support marijuana, or weed as I like to call it, on a daily basis. So that's why I'm not really going to go into it so far. I think a lot more people are smart enough nowadays to make their own decision based on rationality and logic. All right. But as you all might know, I hate cops. Okay. I don't believe in them. I never have, never will. And I don't especially believe in anything such as a good cop. So with this particular video you're about to see, it's gonna basically further this concept a lot more, because here we have a video that is not an arrest. It's not, a video of a cop pulling out a gun on a guy trying to buy some Mentos, legally. And it's not a video of, mistreatment or cops violating people's rights and all that stuff. No, this particular video is an address to the city as well as the nation by the, I believe, Houston police chief and the police department. And the subject matter is CBD oil. Now, if you don't know what CBD oil is, do some research, but it is a substance that is derived specifically from marijuana. And this particular video is likened to a movie that is out there, or you should be able to find it still, called Reefer Madness. If you've never seen the movie, watch it. If you have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about when you see this particular video coming up in a few minutes. Now, I'd like to go on and say that just like the claims in the movie Reefer Madness, the claims in this particular video are just completely false and fictitious, and are propaganda by the government as well as the police department to get people to be scared and to start likely driving the ever-growing support of marijuana down, because they see how weed is winning in this particular era in time. So check out this video. I hope you like it, but just remember that these pigs will go to the ends of the earth to lie to its citizens. All right, that's what the government will do. They just lie and continue to lie some more. I want you to pay close attention to how these pigs, they have, doctors and toxicologists and the operation, whatever it's called, that they'll point to show you that it's something real, and samples of the CBD oil that they confiscated. They have all of this stuff to physically show you, people there to physically speak, or assholes I should call them, but yet they have no evidence of the claims that they are claiming to put in front of you in this video to show you that they are telling any kind of truth. All right, everything that they speak of in this particular coming up video is complete nonsense and should not be believed by anybody. What you should believe is your own research. Do your due diligence, research the shit, see for yourself. And for all those people that actually use it and smoke weed, then hell, you know exactly where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? Don't let the government try to control your mind by spitting these false accusations towards you about any particular subject. Okay? And the same goes for believing in good cops, because there's no such thing. And that's why I'm showcasing this video, because to further show you that without anybody getting beaten up or falsely arrested and all this crap, at least in the video itself, you will see just how far these pigs are willing to go to lie to the people and break their oaths and not be public servants of protecting and serving the community. No, they're in this for their own personal agenda and to drive the support of marijuana down that much more, which is not going to work. But I believe that this is happening in Texas because Texas is that much closer. It's getting closer and closer to being legalized, at least on a medical stance. Hopefully on a recreational level sometime in the near future after that. Maybe all at the same time, but we can get weed to come off the Scheduled 1 category that the federales have on it currently at the moment. So I hope you like the video. Understand that these pigs are telling the lie, the whole lie, and nothing but the lie. So help them, whoever the fuck they believe in, or whoever you believe in. And that's just one of the many, I mean hundreds, I mean tons of reasons why there is no such thing as good cops. Stay frosty.
What you're about to see, I recorded yesterday from my cell phone during a Facebook live feed where the Houston Police Department police chief got up there to tell the people that he's going to keep them safe. You'll find out in a second what he's talking about, and I want to hear your comments on it, but keep one thing in mind. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are still, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. I want to thank Councilmember Stardig for being here, our public safety chair. And, I think one of these incidents, investigations, actually were part of her district. And before I start, Mayor Turner is going to be here, but he's tied up. But he's been fully briefed on this investigation, an ongoing investigation. One of the things that I think is a priority for all of us here in the city of Houston is not just security, which is a lot of what we talk about in law enforcement, it's the security of the community that we serve. But today we're really going to be talking about safety, and the safety of our youth, the safety of our children, the safety of people that are partaking in this type of using what they think is maybe medication, maybe some kind of formula, maybe something that might help them with issues. And unfortunately, what they don't understand is that these CBD oils or cannabidiol, I think I'm saying that right, cannabidiol, which is also known as CBD oil, is in of itself is not unlawful. And you get at these smoke shops, and what a lot of people are doing is that they're using them for self-medicating. They're using them for vapor and vaporizing. A lot of young people are doing it, and what they don't understand is that in too many instances, when we conduct our investigation, what we're finding is a lot of this stuff is mixed by people that are not chemists, they're not pharmacists, they're not scientists. They're actually people that are playing Russian roulette with and providing substance for people to play Russian roulette with their lives. And what we're finding as we conduct these investigations with the help of the Houston Forensic Science Center, and we'll have Dr. talking a bit, we'll have Dr. Percy talk a little bit about the public health issue. What we're finding is that the same stuff we find in Kush, and if you live in the city of Houston or any major city in this country, we know that Kush creates a lot of medical health problems. It creates a lot of psychological impact on the brain. We know it creates a lot of bizarre behavior, and it creates a lot of workload for our friends at the Houston Fire Department. So today we're here to say, stay away from this stuff. This stuff contains chemicals from the cannabis plant. Proponents claim that CBD can help ease pain, anxiety, depression, and more. It's important for people to keep in mind that CBD oil all use different extraction methods and production techniques, and not all result in products that are safe for you, and especially for you, the young people that we want to see live long, healthy lives. There are people out there that are trying to make money off of the innocence of our youth and the innocence of our community. In fact, there are community members that think that they should be using this stuff to treat their own children from different ailments, not realizing that they're giving them poison. And we know what Kush is, which is actually a poison. What we're learning in these synthetic products are oftentimes harmful, and again, illegal substances, as you see what we've seized here. I'm proud of the fact that once again, HB narcotics officers are conducting undercover investigations into these products for the last several months. What we have found is that almost every purchase we made that we tested at the lab, thanks to the Houston Forensic Science Center, showed that the oil contained an illegal substance. That substance was almost always the same substance found in Kush. Presently, the department has seized over 1,000 bottles of oil, and that oil is also contained THC. We've made arrests. We've taken the substances off the streets. We've taken guns off the streets, firearms off the streets, and we really believe that the people that are involved in this are probably involved not just in this type of narcotics and, quite frankly, poison peddling. They're also involved probably in other criminal activity and organized criminal activity. This is a dangerous new trend that we're here to talk about today. It's a trend that we hope we can stop, nip in the bud. It's important for educators and parents, especially educators and parents, to understand that this is not medicine. This is voodoo. This is absolute junk, and it's junk that can lead to significant health issues for the people utilizing the stuff. And so, first off, I want to call up Councilmember Stardy to say a few words, and then we'll call up some other people, and then I'll wrap up with some question and answers, and I'll do some Spanish at the end, because this is an issue that, being a Latino, you know, I could imagine my mother trying to maybe find some magic poison. I mean, poison, no, not that, she loved me, but magic potion out there to try to treat with some kind of ailment, and this is definitely not stuff. And we got our county attorney to come on up as well. Mr. Ryan, come on up, Councilman.
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here today. I think it's very important. We continue to see the Houston Police Department being proactive and looking for these dangerous chemicals that are out in our neighborhoods and our communities, impacting our children. And we need to get the word out to everyone that this is dangerous, that we need to make sure that we educate our youth, our children, that they need to understand that not everything is as innocent as it looks. We continue to see the Houston Forensic Science Center, the county attorney, our fire and police, everyone that's involved here today, stepping up and being proactive and getting ahead of these people. That's the best word I've got for them right now, that are trying to get a buck, just a buck off of our kids. And the fact of the matter is, and they're exposing them to very dangerous situations. So once again, I want to thank Houston Police Department, Chief Acevedo, the fire department, everyone that's here today for all of their great work. I can't tell you how much I don't have to worry so much when I know that y'all are all so active in our communities. And one of these shops, I believe, was in my district, in District A, and it is very unsettling because most of you know I'm very zero tolerance and no nonsense, and I don't tolerate it. So I thank you very much on behalf of our communities and our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman and Council Member. And at this time, I'd like to Vince Ryan and Celine come on up from the County Attorney's Office and speak a little bit about what they're doing on our behalf and on behalf of people we serve.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I apologize. Somebody who used to work at City Hall, I went to City Hall instead of here. And knowing how parking is, I walked over here, and it is a Houston summer day.
And you are, hold on a second.
Well, I don't know. I know who drank out of that water first.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
But part of
Pull the mic a little closer.
part of that challenge is getting all the different moving parts of government working together. And we've developed, I think, a very good relationship with the city, with the police, with the fire department, as we at the county work to try to stop the expansion of this new set of opioids that attract young people especially, but also more mature people looking to get a temporary high. They don't realize the danger they are creating for themselves, for anybody they give it to. And these shops that we just got an injunction on are in the forefront of what we're doing with police agencies at the county. The 9 major police agencies, we're working with them, the district attorney's office, all the moving parts working together on this issue, because we can't let it get any worse than what you're looking at here. As someone who has 3 sons, 22-year-old twins and a 13-year-old, this really scares me. And one of the things I do every time we have one of these issues pop up is sit down with my 3 sons, and I urge every parent who's listening to this, sit down with your children and tell them how dangerous this is. It's not just the immediate high you get, it's really, really dangerous. So thank you, all the other different agencies. Selena Vincent is our head attorney on these kinds of cases. And Selena, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I just want to add to that. The reason this is so important, as Mr. Ryan is saying, is this is vaping oil. And of course, there's been a lot of media attention on the proliferation of vapes, e-cigarettes, and obviously the danger is that any individual, including young teens and kids, can go into these smoke shops right now and grab these oils, which they're going to presume are legal, and then have this synthetic substance in it, which can kill. We know that it's killed people. It's, as the chief said, causes very debilitating illnesses. So that's why the county attorney is committed to working with HPD. They do a great job of the investigations. And so we went yesterday and got 2 temporary restraining orders against the smoke shops, which enjoin them from, again, selling these products. We're going to do discovery, and we're going to find out, who the manufacturers are, who's responsible for making this stuff, putting it in the smoke shops, and we want to send a message to the other smoke shops and convenience stores or anybody selling this that
money, 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 money.
if you too are selling products that have these illegal substances, we're going to go after you. We're going to go take the product and we're going to sue you.
Money, 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 money.
We're going to file a civil nuisance lawsuit and a lawsuit. We use the DTPA, Deceptive Trade Practices Act, and we can get $20,000 penalty per bottle of liquid.
Money, 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 money.
So as you know, in our last Kush case against, I think it was Katz's, we got over $1 million in penalties against them.
Money, 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 money.
Goes to the state, but that's just, we want to let people know and send a message. This is not profitable. It's not going to be profitable anymore.
Money, 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 money.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. And again, the county attorney and his team are just phenomenal on this issue and other issues, other nuisances. And again, this is a public health issue. And what I'd like to do now is call up Dr. Stout to talk about what they are finding as they examine this evidence in the laboratory.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stout. I'm the president of Houston Forensic Science Center. So we test these in the laboratory, and we identify what all the compounds are that are in them. And there's the cannabidiol, which is what people expect to be there. But what they're not expecting to be there are all of these other compounds that basically they're volunteering to do pharmaceutical research in reverse. These are compounds that have been developed sometimes as experimental drugs. Sometimes they're just chemists that are developing what we call analogs of other drugs to test them out for other stuff. They've not been through all of the testing that a drug would normally do. They're going straight to a person. They're going straight to a person before we have any idea what the toxic effects are, what might be the long-term effects. And what we're now ending up doing is trying to back out the symptoms that people see when they take these things and try and identify what the toxicology is. So they're volunteering to be lab rats. They're volunteering to do pharmaceutical research backwards. And they're paying people to do that. That's what these things are. These aren't manufactured by pharmaceutical companies. They're manufactured by people in garages and kitchens. You have no idea what's in them. I don't know how else I can put it. I'm a toxicologist by training. We refer to stuff like this as legs in the air toxicology. You dose people and you count the number of legs in the air, divide by 2. There's no other way to put it. These things are horribly dangerous.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much. And Dr. Percy, could you come up and speak at the medical ramifications that you're experiencing in the county?
Thank you, Chief. And all the speakers that have been up here have already said exactly the truth. So a couple of things from a medical standpoint. So CBD has been tested. You can find the literature, you can go on the internet, you can find it in the National Institutes of Health. There have been studies that have looked at it. And what they basically found is that it probably really doesn't do anything. So there are a lot of reports that it relieves pain from multiple sclerosis, it relieves your arthritis, it does all these things. The reality is that when tested, when actually put to the test, it probably does not do any of those things. But that's what it's marketed as. And what we're now finding, as we've heard from the crime lab, is that the people that are selling this stuff are spiking these substances with a wide variety of different pharmaceuticals, most of which are illegal, all of which we know to be dangerous. And so, this isn't the first time that Chief Acevedo and I have spoken to the media about Kush, and we've talked a couple of times, and you've all covered the large numbers of unconscious people that we found that have been high on Kush and how it's occurring, in the streets. Well, generally when most people get high on Kush, they pass out like mid-sentence. They will pass out suddenly. It's really bad when they do that driving a car, as example, walking down a flight of stairs holding a child, as an example. They pass out pretty suddenly. Most of the time, they recover. Sometimes when they wake up, they're violent, uncontrollably violent. This is a significant problem in the back of an ambulance. It's a significant problem in the emergency department when they wake up violent, and it takes 4 or 5 people to hold them down. It also is bad when they wake up violent and they're still behind the wheel of the car. These are not inconsequential drugs. Don't think that for a moment. There are other medications that are not medications. There are other chemicals that have been put into these things that we haven't talked about that are also dangerous and have a large variety of negative consequences. So some of the things that you're seeing here that are supposed to enhance a man's virility, they can be dangerous. Men and there can have serious permanent consequences that they don't want to have as a result of using these. And if you're a young person and you're not, first of all, you believe that this stuff is okay because it comes in a nice package. There's a certain amount of faith that, it comes in a nice package, it must be safe, right? Well, anything you can buy in a convenience store or a gas station has not gone through the FDA. You have no idea what you're taking. And if you think, well, a little is good, a lot is better, you're setting yourself up for huge, terrible consequences. So once again, to reinforce what's already been said, you have no idea. When you purchase these things and you ingest them, whether you smoke them or you swallow them, you have absolutely no idea what you just put in your body. So just don't do it. Do not buy a pill from a gas station. That is a bad idea.
Thank you. And now Lieutenant Todd from our beautiful police department, this fantastic worker, and our team will come up and speak to the actual investigation that got us here. Just trying to be helpful.
He says I'm short. So over several months, we conducted undercover buys of CBD oil at smoke shops, and the results, like they said, have been frightening. Almost every single bottle of CBD oil that we purchased was found to contain these synthetic cannabinoids. These are the same substances, like they've said, that are in Kush. They're synthetic, meaning they're man-made, illegal substances being added to the oil. And then you and your family or your friend or your children vape them or ingest them some other way, and like the chief said, you're really playing Russian roulette. So last Wednesday, in Operation 3 of a Kind, which is this case right here, we executed search warrants at 3 smoke shops across Houston. The locations were the Fantasy Smoke Shop, 1412 Westheimer Road, Smoky Doke, 5784 Bingle, and Dreamers, 2961 Bingle. We recovered hundreds of bottles of CBD oil. On this table, you just see a small sampling of what was recovered in that investigation, but it's actually about 130 pounds total of evidence that we submitted to the lab. Some of the CBD oil was manufactured in other states and shipped here to the smoke shops, and some of the oil was packaged right there in the back of the smoke shops. The lab is continuing to test the substances, but we're finding that many of the bottles are tainted with an illegal substance called 5-fluoro-EDMB panaca. This is the same type of synthetic cannabinoid that we find in Kush. Some of the bottles contain the Syncan substance, and then it also contained THC. We continued our investigation this week by purchasing additional bottles of CBD oil from the same out-of-state distributors that the smoke shops told us that they used to buy it. We received those products in to the police department. They were tested by our lab, and they also contained the same illegal substance. We've conducted some separate investigations, and that's what you see on the other board there, the recent CBD arrests. And those basically all contain THC. You can see the results of those investigations on that table here that we recovered. That's about 1,400 bottles of the vape oil that contain THC in there in the boxes, and the guns that we recovered from those investigations as well. So basically, like they've said, this new trend is frightening, and we're going to continue to disrupt and dismantle these drug trafficking organizations to protect the
Money, 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 money. Money.
citizens of Houston.
Let me just add a couple of things I think are really important. A couple weeks ago, I spent some time at the state capitol talking about drugs that people are buying overseas. They want to save money. They think it's cheaper. They go into Canada and they order their medication in Canada, and what they're not realizing is some of the medication they think they're getting from Pfizer, for example, because some of the Viagra's or whatever the heck they're buying, They don't realize that some of that stuff is being manufactured in somebody's garage and being sent over here, and a lot of that stuff is dangerous. And when you're buying, whether it's this or anything that's not coming from a pharmacy, from a licensed pharmacist in the United States, you're really putting yourself at risk. So today we're really talking about CBD oils. It's all over our neighborhoods here in Houston and probably around the country, but it goes beyond that to people that are buying medicines in the back of little supermercados, right, where they think they're getting in the back of markets in the Hispanic community and some of the other immigrant communities, and what they're getting is poison. What they're getting is not controlled. What they're getting is not science. What they're getting is voodoo science, if you ask me, and they're really putting themselves at risk. So we're just asking parents, please take a look at this stuff. Please educate your students. Educators, the end of the school year is coming. I hope that tomorrow the Houston Independent School District and all school districts within this region, within this media region, will be talking to their kids, hitting them hard with the consequences of playing with this stuff and what they're doing to themselves. And so with that, did I miss anybody?
Money, 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 money.